Dober večer. Is it good?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. I'm from the Netherlands. I hope to be able to speak more and more Bulgarian. I'm going to do a power pose. Okay? Thank you for that. I would like to start by saying that there's something that you all need to do every day. It doesn't matter if you just graduated, over there someone, or if you're the CEO of the biggest company in Bulgaria. And that is to navigate. Every day you have to make decisions continuously. It might be if you're going to date with this guy, if you're going to have a second child, I saw it was a baby over there, if you're going to invest in AI tools for your workers. Who made a big decision in the last week, important one? You see? And all the time you make decisions. So for effective navigation, you need relevant and reliable information. Because without that, you're just gambling. Then the question is, where do people normally search for information? A common place are the experts. But there's a big problem, because experts have a conflict of interest. Your need is their business model. Also, they see your challenge through the lens of their expertise, which limits the options that they see. And there's another place where you can search more and more, and this is data, and data tools such as AI. But actually, it's not so accurate, this joke, because AI is quite good in repetitive phenomena, and the appendix most of the time is in the same place. So if you would like to know something which is about a repetitive challenge, data or AI can extrapolate from the available documented information. But if there's not so much information yet that has been documented, for example, a new risk or a new opportunity, AI or data is relatively poor to give advice to you. And this can lead to a situation where you don't know what to decide. Actually, 75% of executives say that they don't trust the data, and 87% says they are in decision distress. Maybe some of you had also that experience in the last week. Well, can we do something else? And maybe why do I care so much about navigation? Well, that's because my parents couldn't take care of me. This is me in the orphanage, because they're mental handicapped. So at a very young age, I experienced that just good intentions is not enough for effective navigation. And I had to become my own navigator. So when I came across a method that focuses on navigation, I found my passion, and I introduced it to the Netherlands, my home country. I also work with it in Brazil, and I hope to bring it to East Europe. That's also why I'm here sharing this with you today. Now, what's the name of the method? It's TINO, and TINO stands for Think Intelligence Network Owner. And we already work with companies, also with the public sector like governments, and also in education. But back to the information. Why what we do helps additional to the experts and to documented information. What we find is unrecognized knowledge. And unrecognized knowledge is valuable information that people have, but they're not aware that they have it. And if you're not aware you have it and it's relevant to someone else, you're not going to share it. So if you compare this with the information that you can get from experts, you can position that in the right upper corner. Yes, they have relevant information, but they have the highest conflict of interest. Unrecognized knowledge is on the left upper corner. It's relevant, but people don't have an interest in that information. And compared to data or AI, data and AI cannot access it because people haven't shared it yet, because they didn't realize it's valuable to somebody else. And it can actually reveal new risks or new opportunities. And that's what we do. So one example, because it might sound conceptual. Imagine you would like to know how a warehouse is doing. What are the risks or vulnerabilities? Normally, people would ask the experts, right? These can be the people who work there. It can also be consultants from outside. However, these people see a lot because it's their job, it's their responsibility, but their information is in the right upper corner. They also have an interest. They might be fired if they admit things don't go so well. So what we do, we find other people, for example, the truck drivers who every day come to those warehouses, bring all kinds of products there, but they're not responsible for what happens inside the warehouse, so they don't have this direct conflict of interest. So we see around any kind of challenge who might have relevant perspectives without the direct conflict of interest. And this is how we find unrecognized knowledge in one sentence, style. It's a bit more complicated, but this is the core of how to find unrecognized knowledge. Does it work? Yes. We do a lot of things. One of the things is we built a different type of ATM for a bank that suffers from ATM explosions. We help international mobility company to improve their processes, to make them more efficient, and we helped also the Dutch tax authority to evaluate their tax policy. We were able to reduce the tax, which by the way I'm very proud of and happy with. But we also work on societal challenges, for example with the Dutch police. And you might wonder what's the connection with communities, but if people learn from each other in an authentic way for their own interest, this strengthens the community that they're in. So it's a very nice glue. I'm already almost at the end, so what are the takeaways I would like to give to you? I would suggest that every person naturally should be their own navigator, because you're with yourself most of the time, more than anybody else. But you need to be aware, also if you're in the business, that there are limitations to experts and data, and you can use much better the potential of humans. So I think now I have 5 more seconds for applause, and please come to me if you would like to know more, because you maybe see that I can share much more and I'll be happy to do so afterwards. Thank you.